Fame, loyalty, artistry, content, freedom, honesty, love, music, art, change, wisdom, knowledge, new chapters.
All right, so everybody, it's via CJ. Why don't you just give us the rundown? You know, I know you're cracking on Spotify right now, all that.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I'm just a kid, man. I'm 19. I'm from Connecticut. I moved down to Florida. I've always had, I've always been a real positive person. I came down here. I was going to college. You know, a lot of people I know, they debate, can I go to college or rap? I was one of those kids who's like, oh, they can't be both ever in the same universe. Like, obviously it can, but I was like, you know what? I dropped college because I'm going to take the selfish route and say I thought I was special because I had an intuitive feeling that, I'm special and I maybe don't need this and this doesn't feel right, So I left. And soon after, I had my first ever time in the studio. I fell in love. And I was like, dude, I want to do this for real. And I got introduced to the studio by one of their in-house marketers and vice president. So that's how the marketing thing got slapped into my head the same time the music did. And that's why we're talking about fan building. So I got some songs out. I got some people that pay attention. And I would love to help you guys get a little further along any paths you might have. So.
All right, dope. Well, let's first start with how did you first build your brand and brand awareness? What was your first social media platform? I like to call it like a flagship product. How did you build from there?
Okay, so before I really started doing music, I always had my own socials on every platform. So what I did was I literally just turned all of those into the Via CJ stuff. So I changed the usernames, and I actually I'm the dentist with bad teeth right now because my own social handles, they're not all the same as they should be. But they're all like via CJ related, but they're not the exact same spelling. So learn from me. Don't have them different. Keep them the same.
Did you find that changing them? Did you lose any fans? Because I know that's a concern of people. How was that transition?
Well, I actually set up the via CJ handles and everything way before I started getting any fans. So I didn't really have to worry about losing anything because I didn't really have anything to begin with. I started off hitting Instagram really hard. So I was like, I gotta hit Instagram super hard. Praise Lord to the man Gary Vaynerchuk right there. Slapped me in the face with the facts. And I started posting a lot more on Instagram, 3 to 4 times a day. I got a lot less romantic about my posts, and I still try to make things look nice, but at the end of the day, no matter what it looks like, it's always about the content that you're posting. So I started hitting Instagram super hard. And then Twitter was my secondary kind of start pushing that, but my main one was the flagship product, I would say, would be Instagram.
Okay, so and when you're very well known for reaching out to fans, calling them, when did you start doing that? What was your number or your metric as far as raw numbers when you started to be like, all right, I'm gonna actually interact and record it and all that?
Okay, good question, because it's a weird situation. I always knew, even before I got one fan, that I would be that artist that would be different by making sure I really do talk to my fans, because I know a lot of people don't. So I was I had that mission, that chip on my shoulder almost, I'm gonna be that artist that does care, And the metric where I started calling fans, it was probably around 3,000 Instagram followers. Would you want a follower or a streaming metrics?
Both. Mm-hmm.
All right, so I had Twitter around 1,000, Instagram around 3,000. Facebook's pretty inactive for me right now. I'm, again, dentist with bad teeth right there. My Facebook isn't super popping, but I know it should be. I'm just one man right now. My YouTube was a big one, so I'm gonna let you guys in on the biggest secret I've probably never told anyone publicly about my career. I still do sometimes, but I used to do this, and I guess it's against, it's hurting me to say this, but I know it's helping you guys, so I'm gonna really do this. I have 14 YouTube accounts, and I would take my main YouTube account called Via CJ, and then I would have notifications on for when Gary V drops a video, because I knew that his fans would like my music, because that's my inner marketer speaking. So I was like, let me drop a comment as soon as the video drops, and the comment was very value based. It wasn't basic comment like, yo, check out my shit. What it was is, my name's CJ, I'm 19, but don't pay attention to my dumbass fucking story. Here's 7 songs. How do you feel about swearing, by the way?
Oh, go for it, dog.
All right. Here, I was like, here's my fucking dumbass, like, you know, comment. I was like, don't worry about my fucking story. Here's literally every song I've ever made at your disposal to help your creative process for your vlogs. Links, bam, bum, bum, bum. And I would go refresh the page on a different account, favorite the comment, and I would be on the top comment every video. And I literally got like over 1,000 YouTube subscribers from doing that. I'm at like 1,200 subscribers, like hundreds of Instagram followers, DMs, and that's what was the initial snowball. And now I'm noticing, like, I don't have to do that. I do it once in a while, but I don't have to do that anymore because now, like, it's snowballing on its own a little bit. But that's just what got it started, and it's not like something I'm proud of, but it was dirty. Like, it was dirty, and that's what I did. So.
Okay, so would you suggest? I mean, yeah, because that's the real question. A lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, that's great, that's awesome." What would my version be? You know what I mean? You can hear somebody watching this is like, "Well, okay, should I do that for Joyner Lucas or something like that?" Would you suggest that, or I mean, yeah?
On a real level, like it has never brought me any negative attention besides that random Adam 4086 guy that goes, "Fuck off, kid." Everybody else is super happy when they respond to it. I think you should, personally. I'm gonna go ahead and say I recommend that, but that shouldn't be it. You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't be it. You know, that should just be a layer that you're doing. Obviously, that's not going to be your key to any fame or anything. It's going to get your snowball effect going for sure. But the music has to be good, and the way you write it has to be your giving. You cannot say, like, I want you guys to check me out because I'm fucking poor and I'm 16. Like, you have to be like, you have to kind of be like, don't worry about who I am. Here's just something for your creative process. And then you got to favorite the comment pretty quick. But yeah, I guess I would recommend it for someone who has a lot of dedication and someone who's not precious about, you know, the dirt of it all. Like, I guess I'm admitting that there is some sort of, like, you got to find a way, like, and that was my way to get started. But now I have a lot better, you know, moves to make. That's not the first move I would recommend, but it's a move that, you know, did get me traction, and I'm not going to lie about that by any means. Maybe don't tell everyone publicly like I did. You know?
Okay, so one thing I really like about your fan base building tactics is you're like a gratitude dude. Like, I say about 50 to 60% of your posts are like, thank you, or I just reached this benchmark. Is that a piece of strategy, or is it just part of you? Are there anything, pieces of advice you give around being grateful and how to do it proactively?
That's a good question. It definitely was a mixture. It was a mixture of strategy and just what I had in me. But then the minute I realized that, hey, this is also strategy, being grateful, I doubled down on it for sure. And the reason I made several posts like that is also, like, if I had to break down the whole strategy part of it, I would say I kept posting, like, my Spotify growth over and over and over again. And I'll tell you guys the truth as well for that. We were scouting out Spotify playlists, and we were hustling, making Google Sheets, finding the owners, hitting them up on Facebook. So that's literally what we were doing. And, you know, that's what a lot of artists do. This isn't stuff that's breaking news, you know what I mean? So that's part of it, and that got the viral loop going on Spotify as well.
I also wanted to talk a little bit about your choice of variety of posts. How do you go about deciding what topics I'm going to cover, what I'm going to avoid, all that?
So one of the main things I think about with content is content pillars. Content pillars are like almost like a series, and I keep going back to Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm gonna go right to How to Rap Drew. Like, you know how Drew has, like, he'll drop like something where it's him rapping. That's like one of his content pillars, is him rapping. Another content pillar that Drew has, my guy right here, he has the tutorial videos. So that's a content pillar that you can do over and over and over again. It's almost as if you're creating a template for content that you can do part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. That was something that I started with rap practice. The freestyle things where I'm like, blah, blah, blah. That's like something I can post continually. So I'm like, that's a pillar. So now you got like 100 posts for the year on that pillar. Now, another thing I do is the Twitter pillar. And what that does is that showcases my Twitter subliminally without asking. and it gives a good quote of the day. And I usually do that in the morning because I know mornings are when people want to get inspired. As far as other stuff, like, you know, the random pictures of me because I know people want to see me. But I definitely don't overthink my content, because there's been times where I've overthink my content and I go a whole day without anything because I'm being too fancy. I don't know what to post. Like, realistically, make a content schedule. Like, Monday I'm gonna post this, Tuesday I'm gonna post this, but, you know, 3 of them every day. So Monday I'm gonna post this, Tuesday, that's what I did. But at the same time, know that it doesn't have to be perfect. Because if the second you think it has to be perfect is the second you're going to slow down and you're going to be like worried if it didn't get enough likes in the first 17 minutes, if the likes aren't higher than the minutes, and you're going to be like, oh no.
Yeah, so also you're one-man army right now, but you do seem to get you got music videos, you got pictures of you without you holding it. How do you go about building the appearance of a team, even if you're just one dude?
I think that would be the day that I met my girlfriend.
Yeah.
That was a big part of it. I'm gonna sit at the head of the table. That's a big part of it. It was like my girlfriend who really brought. Give me water with lemon, please. Thank you. And yeah, I'm not really out here right now. This is real life. Yeah, it was definitely, you know, my girlfriend. Portrait mode on the iPhone 7, portrait mode, that thing is literally like a Sony Canon camera. Like, don't play yourself. Like, literally, iPhone photography works for Instagram. Download the app called Glitchy. It makes these little glitch videos on your, like, things. Like, it's little creative things that, like, all my post editing is usually done on my mobile platform. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't usually dedicate time to go on Premiere Pro to just make one piece of content. If I go on Premiere Pro or like editing software, that's another thing. I learned editing software. If I didn't learn editing software, I'm not putting out half the content I have right now. You know, I learned editing software since I was 14. That's how I got into the whole creative thing, way before music. I was doing graphics and little videos and Call of Duty montages for my boys, like. And then it turned into this, like, I work at an agency and create content for businesses. So I'm like, dude, do that for yourself.
Just to kind of commentate on what we're seeing here is all of the things that people are saying, well, should I be doing that as an artist? You're willing to do. Learning that video software, learning different apps. Building on that, I wanted to ask, how do you go about researching new shit that you're going to use, and how much time do you spend learning those apps?
Oh, How to Rap Drew is my main place to go.
Yeah, smart move.
Nah, he's
classy act.
Yeah, man. No, for real though. He early on, this guy really put me at ease when it comes to performing. I was really watching a lot of your videos. But when it comes to learning a lot of the apps, like Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere, straight YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Final Cut, YouTube. You can even YouTube best mobile content apps, man. You're gonna find stuff, and personally, I'm gonna recommend 2. I'm gonna type them right now. The first one is called Glitchy. That is one of the sickest apps I ever seen. The other one is called Video Leap, and then we got one called SquareFit. I'll have a water with lemon, please. Thank you. And then there's an app called SquareFit. SquareFit's amazing to make all your videos square. And dude, don't get overwhelmed by any of these apps and dimensions and editing. Like, all it is make a post, see if it fits on Instagram. Zoom out, now it fits. Zoom in, now it fits. Like, it's just little stuff like that. With repetitions, all these things can be learned. You don't need to be the next, insane vlogger to be updating your content, man. All it takes is a phone like this. iMovie's another good one. And just use YouTube to learn everything, man. And then also, don't be afraid to learn on your own. You know what I'm saying? Just better.
Now, is there a number as far? You're also a social media, like that's what you do for a living as well.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, is there a certain social media benchmarks as far as raw numbers that you as a social media, let's just wear your business hat right now, that you consider necessary to be taken seriously? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is there a certain metric that we should really, really take seriously as far as social?
Yeah, like for example, I'm going to do a video where a guy is like, how many followers should I have before hitting up a record label? And of course I'm going to say, like, you shouldn't even think that way, but if you want to be honest, like, they're going to check your numbers, and if you have less than 1,000 Instagram followers, that is going to affect you. I mean, that's just the way that it is. You know what I
That's
mean?
true. That's true.
So, but I was wondering from your perspective, especially the fact that you do this for a living as opposed to just a rapper, how do you go about evaluating that?
So in a situation like that, I'm gonna go ahead and use that same reference about when should I hit up a record label. I personally have never hit up record labels, but it's not because I'm scared to or don't think I have enough followers. It's because I just didn't get there. I've done other things in the way, but personally, I would be against letting your follower vanity number limit you from trying anything, because what if your music bangs and that one guy that one day is like, you know what, I am gonna give this guy a listen, and then he listens and he's like, oh, so like that's who you like, that's what time it is, like, you know what I'm saying, like he might like somebody might randomly click on your stuff and just find you. So I wouldn't really advise, but if I had to pick a number, like when you look more official, like we all look more official with a 10K next to our followers, you know what I'm saying? 10K followers, you look pretty good, but don't let like, there's so many people with fake followers and like people who just do that just to get to that vanity point. But it's a whole other thing to have followers. It's a whole other thing if your likes and comments matches your follower number. Because if your likes and comments don't match like your insanely large following, you look like a complete fraud, feel me? So like,
yeah, and I'm going to put this in the video. I talk a lot about they're going to look more at the excitement of your fans.
Oh yeah.
So like for example, VSCJ, your IG numbers are what, like 6-7K or whatever.
I think
Something
even
like
3K.
Yeah, 3K, but your fans are loyal as fuck, and you can tell that just by, you know, overlooking your numbers. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So as much as the whole like followers numbers, subscriber numbers is kind of overrated. You know what I mean? Even
Absolutely.
on YouTube.
Absolutely. It's a leverage in a conversation. That's really what it is. If you're having a conversation with somebody that's in the industry, like, or like if you're having a conversation, like, yeah, you can throw around your follower numbers and get their attention a little more in that conversation. But anything past that, you're really not going to see any direct, like, this is so valuable, all my followers. Because, dude, what the real metric is, if you want to see if your shit's working, the real metric is the comments. That's the real metric, I think. Like, if there's people leaving real thoughtful comments, spending time, like, typing something, even if it's 1 to 5 people, like, I'd rather affect 5 people deeply than, like, have 1,000 likes on a post any day.
Yeah, kind of shifting gears a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody that can watch this and see the success and feel like, all right, well, it's easy for Drew to talk because he's got 100,000, or you because you've got social media experience. I'm literally starting from the bottom. How do I even build up the confidence and the motivation to really want to, you know?
You have to take a risk. It's a leap of faith at the end of the day. Like, I was so nervous to start vlogging and posting like my face and like holding the camera. Like, you know how corny I thought that was at first? Like a lot, like there have been times where I would post something and delete it the next day because of like a lack of confidence in that post or anything. But at the end of the day, I think the number one thing that got me past that initial, you just have to not give a fuck in the beginning, to be honest. You have to not care in the beginning, because in the beginning you can make 10 wrong moves, but you're still making moves that give you data to adjust and move. Like, how are you gonna know like if the moon is dangerous if you don't go there, type of thing, you know what I'm saying? You have to just go. Like, if you're being held back by an emotional reason that you can't start, then this probably isn't for you. As hurtful as that is, like if you're being held back, like I can't do it because of my confidence, like I would even say like it's just not, like, this isn't something that you can worry about that for. Like, look at the celebrities. Here's something that helps. Here's something practical. I don't want to be negative. Here's something that really helps. Anytime I was lacking confidence over a post or lacking confidence over something I posted or just starting having little numbers, people used to take it as a joke. I used to release songs my junior year of high school and senior year of high school. They're all private now. Your bitches ain't here, none of them. But I used to release songs like to my school and like my surroundings. I would get straight clowned. Like, what'd you say? Just speak it.
No, I'm just asking you what you're getting.
Oh yeah, I don't know yet, but I would just get straight clowned because people would just like not take it seriously and not care, and it was trash music at the beginning. But I would never get to this good music if I didn't go through the trash. Like the first week, first month, like it's gonna be weird. Like you're not gonna know your vibe. You're not gonna like you gotta learn how to swim. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all it is. Like just don't be afraid to try. But something real practical. I got off track. I have like a weird like thing about me. Something very, very helpful that I did was I emotionally rerouted to like not caring about anything. Like if you're not going to care that you're on Instagram doing your thing or YouTube doing your thing as a rapper, you also have to not care when you're in the grocery store with flip-flops and no socks. Like you have to like have both of those not caring in you. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just only care. You get it, right? You have to like really not care. That's another thing. Many artists will be like, and I think this is like tying off what you're saying. Many artists will be like, oh, I'm scared to start because my music isn't up to radio quality. But like, you know what I'm saying? You have to start somewhere. So I would definitely say to do that and like grab something. Yeah, I would definitely grab it. But what I personally do to tell a little more of my story is when I found Studio 18, I leveraged my marketing knowledge and I went straight to the owner, looked him in the eyes and said, I want to create content for you guys and help with marketing and be on the team in exchange for whatever I provide value-wise you provide to me in studio time. And what that and that's just a huge thing. Like I leveraged another skill I had. So if you're an artist with like two skills, like you can draw or like you can create content too, or you can market, that is another thing. So that's another huge leverage point, like in conversations when it comes to budgeting and creation of music. And you can leverage your skills to get discounts on things, and like it's cool, like you know. So
dope shit.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
We're gonna let you eat. Well, this last question. As always, like 3 practical steps that people can use tonight to start building their fan base and rocking out just like it's BSCJ. And be sure to follow.
Here we go. 3 practical steps. Make music. That's just my first one. Make music, please. Like, don't let anything stop you from making the music and not your equipment, not your emotions, none of that. So make music. Do not let any comment go unreplied. If someone's an inbound lead to you, someone is coming to you saying that was dope or fire emoji, if you leave it unreplied, you don't want this. You don't want this because if you reply, you're just showing like you appreciate it. If you don't reply, you just clearly don't want it. So that's another thing. Reply to every comment, and then what I would do is I would scroll down your Instagram, and every person that comments and every person that likes or follows you, DM them, not a copy and paste. DM them, thank you for following me. It's really dope how you're a Mets fan. Thank you for following me. It's really dope how you do karate. Thank you for following me. And then you're coming into these people. So these people see a message. You're like, yo, this kid's taking interest in me. I'm going to mess with him back. And it takes time, yeah, but what else are you going to do when you're just taking a dump? You know what I'm saying? Like, just make moves, kid. Like let's just all make moves. Like, it doesn't have to be at that most opportune times. Like, forget the perfectionism. So that's my 3 steps. Make music, reply to comments, hit those fan DMs. Drew, take it away.
Yeah. And bonus round, follow at It's Via CJ on all platforms. He's on Spotify. He's everywhere. Want to say thank you to the homie. Gonna let him enjoy his linguine. And we'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Yo, I'm going to say one more thing, man. How much I appreciate this kid right here, man. This Drew, How to Rap Drew. This guy is doing something in hip-hop bigger than he even realizes, man. Like, there's no other OG How to Rap, and that'll never, ever be false for, like, 100, 200, 300 years. So, like, this dude's really the first one. So,
thank you, brother. Guys. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Peace. Later.
I'm a space kid, astronaut, whether or not I'm gon' pass it is not the question I'm asking when I'll get drafted, making music till they ask you like, who is he? Passing all these women like Drew Brees, get up on my hoopty, I'm loyal to my city, not like Katie on some new teams, I put out for my family, cause we hanging on like shoestrings, change my habits up and now it's feeling like a mood ring, ha.